For 17 years, an invisible force terrorized America. He didn't rob banks. He didn't shoot victims in the street. He mailed bombs. Targets were intellectuals, professors, airline executives. The casualties mounted, panic spread, and no one knew who would be next. He called modern technology a disease. His weapon was ideology. His tool was fear. This is the story of the Unabomber, the man who lived in silence, wrote in rage. Bound declared war on the future. Theodore John Kaczynski was born in Chicago, 1942. The son of working-class Polish American parents. He was a quiet child, exceptionally bright. By age 16, he had skipped 2 grades and was accepted to Harvard, Pick's University. But what should have been a dream quickly became a psychological fracture. While at Harvard, Kaczynski unknowingly took part in a psychological experiment led by psychologist Henry A. Murray. For over 2 years, Ted was subjected to covert psychological stress and humiliation, which some believe deeply influenced his later mental deterioration. Greater than experts today suggest this may have been a turning point, fueling his deep mistrust of institutions and authority. After graduating with a degree in mathematics, he earned a PhD at the University of Michigan and became a professor at UC Berkeley. But in 1969, without explanation, he resigned. The reason? He had a new mission, a new enemy: industrial society. In 1971, Kaczynski withdrew completely from society. He purchased land in Lincoln, Montana, where he built a small 10-by-12-foot cabin. No running water, no electricity, no plumbing. It was here, alone in the mountains, that Kaczynski crafted his new identity. He lived off the land, trapped rabbits, grew vegetables. But he also kept journals, obsessively writing about the evils of technology, consumerism, and modernity. He wrote about how industrial progress was enslaving mankind, stripping away freedom and replacing natural life with machines. And then he built his first bomb on May 25, 1978. A package bomb exploded at Northwestern University. It was the first of 16 total bombings over the next 17 years. Kaczynski chose his targets carefully. He targeted university professors, officials, computer scientists, corporate executives, and anyone promoting automation or genetic engineering greater than in 1979. One of his bombs was placed on an American Airlines flight. It caused a mid-air emergency, but thankfully did not detonate fully. As the bombs became more complex, investigators realized they were dealing with a highly intelligent bomb maker. He used wooden casings, homemade switches, and carefully concealed explosives. By 1985, his devices were killing. Hugh Scruton, Sacramento businessman, killed by a bomb hidden in a parking lot. Thomas Mosser, P.R. executive, killed in his home. Gilbert Murray, timber industry lobbyist, died instantly when opening a package. Each bomb was signed with FC, standing for Freedom Club. The FBI launched the most expensive and longest investigation. In its history, codenamed Unibomb, short for University and Airline Bomber. For years, the case led nowhere. There were no fingerprints, no witnesses, and the bomber left misleading clues. The media dubbed him the Unabomber. A multi-agency task force was formed, combining FBI, ATF, and postal inspectors. More than 150 agents worked full-time. The case generated over 60,000 leads. Yet Kaczynski remained invisible. He never used phones, drove rarely, mailed his packages from distant cities to throw off patterns. And then he reached out. In 1995, the Unabomber mailed a 35,000-word manifesto to the New York Times and the Washington Post. Its title, Industrial Society and Its Future in It. He wrote, "Greater than technology is a more powerful social force than the aspiration for freedom." He claimed that, left unchecked, industrial systems would destroy the environment, deduce human freedom, enslave mankind through surveillance and dependency. He gave the media an ultimatum: publish the manifesto in full, or more people would die. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney General eventually agreed. On September 19, 1995, the manifesto was printed in national newspapers. It was a gamble, but it worked. Reading the manifesto, one man felt a shiver down his spine. David Kaczynski, Ted's younger brother. He recognized the tone, the arguments, the language that Ted had sent similar rants to family years earlier, railing against technology and the system. David went to the FBI reluctantly. He provided old letters, essays, and writings. Forensic linguists matched the writing to the manifesto, and suddenly, the biggest break in the case emerged. The FBI zeroed in on a cabin outside Lincoln, Montana. It belonged to Ted Kaczynski. On April 3, 1996, FBI agents raided the cabin. Inside, they found bomb-making materials, tools, a fully assembled live bomb journals detailing every attack, the original typed manuscript of the manifesto, and his kill list. Kaczynski was arrested without incident. He was 53 years old. America's most wanted domestic terrorist had been hiding in a wooden shed for nearly 25 years. Kaczynski was charged with multiple counts of murder, use of explosives, and interstate transportation of bombs. He insisted on representing himself, but was later ruled mentally unstable by court psychiatrists. Rather than risk a trial, he accepted a plea bargain in 1998, life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. He was sent to a DX Florence, the Colorado Supermax, known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. He spent nearly 24 years in solitary confinement. In 2021, he was moved to a federal medical center due to cancer. On June 10, 2023, he died by suicide in his prison cell at the age of 8. Ted Kaczynski left behind a legacy that still stirs debate. His manifesto has been reprinted, analyzed, and studied worldwide. Some see him as a madman. Others, disturbingly, view him as a prophet warning of technological doom. His story has inspired books, documentaries, the the Netflix series Manhunt, Unabomber, FBI courses on domestic terrorism, university debates on ethics, technology, and power. But make no mistake, Ted Kaczynski was a murderer who took innocent lives for an ideology. He represents a cautionary tale of what happens when brilliance is warped by isolation, resentment, and radicalization. The Unabomber didn't just build bombs, he built a story. One that still echoes today in conspiracy theories, anti-tech movements, and dark corners of the internet. But at its core, this is a story of loss, potential, of life, and of humanity itself. If this case fascinated or shocked you, subscribe to the Crime Stream for more deep-dive documentaries that peel back the mask on real-life criminal minds. Like, comment, was Kaczynski insane? Or did he just take his beliefs too far? Share this with a fellow true crime lover. Subscribe for weekly uploads.